World Convention online. Actually, hold on. That's my next video I'm doing. Welcome to the Worldbuilders Forge. I'm here with World Builder Dave Hawkins, the amazing man of the North. How are you doing today, Dave?
I'm doing quite well. Jeff. How are you?
I am excellent, thank you. And why don't we begin by you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name's Dave Hawkins. I'm a wordsmith, yarn spinner, storyteller, and character sculptor. Longtime gamer and amateur designer, and just really getting myself into an apprenticeship of game design. So,
excellent. So, to get this out of the way right away, you're the well-known Lord and Master of all Muppets. Would you like to comment on that before we go on about world building?
I cannot be the Lord and Master beyond all Muppets. That title belongs to his sacred, sanctimonious, sanctumness, Jim Henson.
Could we call you the Dark Lord of Muppets then?
Yes, I am the Dark Lord of all Muppets, yes.
Excellent, very good. As long as we have that cleared up. Okay, so now let's jump right into it. So what to you is world building?
To me, world building is setting a grand stage for grand characters to tell grand stories. I love an epic tale, and I love to give it an epic backdrop. I love to drop in the elements, paint the setting, put in the props, provide the costumes, and then put the characters in that environment, and literally give the characters scissors and have them run.
Good. Scissor running is a positive trait. Actually, I have a -2 to that skill myself. So, how did you get into world building? What lured you into the world of world building?
Well, believe it or not, it was initially gaming with you. I had played games like Dungeons & Dragons and similar RPGs beforehand, and I had been a long-time fantasy novel reader and science fiction novel reader. But when I had first started gaming with you using the GURP system and talking about actual world building and world construction, it was like, oh, there is a viable method to it. There is not necessarily a formula, but steps that can be taken to create a setting, create a world, and give characters the opportunity to use it, not just drag them by the nose and pull them through it.
So there will be no nose dragging? You might regret that at times.
Occasionally you have to pull the ring, but it doesn't seem to be necessary all the time if you allow the characters opportunity to make choices, that even create choices of their own.
So very good. So going forward, what is the thing that you are looking forward to in either the work you are doing or to world building geekery that's coming next year? What's exciting?
What's exciting to me? Well, in the video game genre, one of my favorite settings, the World of Darkness, is progressively working towards an MMO, and so I'm looking towards participating in the World of Darkness with people all over the world simultaneously by the same people who created EVE Online CCP. So if they created a galaxy, I'm pretty sure they can create a planet.
It should be simpler.
You'd think, but the microcosm may be a little bit more difficult. So.
That's true. I mean, I think when you start getting into worlds, you need a lot more details in a universe. Most of it's blank.
Well, at this point, they really have to create a lot of character. They have to create a lot of story. There has to be a lot more depth and intrigue. Intrigue is tasty, tasty stuff. So,
quick question on that: Are they planning to start in a city, or are they going to do like the whole world? Or?
They're doing the whole world.
Oh yeah, a few characters there.
Yeah, a few characters there. Another thing I'm looking forward to is I'm reading a lot of stuff from author Larry Correia, who has written the Monster Hunters Incorporated series, which is very good, and also the Grim Noir series, which is also really good. And I particularly like the Grim Noir series because it's like a superhero genre with alternate Earth, gaslight, sort of steampunk post-World War II setting where superheroes get their powers based off of magic.
So we have magic, superheroes, and steampunk all in one setting.
And noir.
And noir. Thank you.
And noir. Yes. It's also brilliantly written. He has created some really awesome characters, where you're like, oh, I love Jake Sullivan for one. You gotta love Jake Sullivan is the hard-nosed ex-vet private detective who can control gravity. Gotta love it.
Sounds intriguing.
It is.
Anything of your own project wise that are coming up?
Well, I'm always world building. I always like to take systems and create worlds in them. Currently, right now, I have my Prodigy Zero setting, which is a superhero genre setting. I personally love comic books and superheroes, so I've taken Mutants and Masterminds Second Edition. I've created Prodigy Zero, which is my answer to X-Men and the mutant problem and the societal issues that involve mutants, the prejudice, the racism, the possible mental illness that could come from having that social stigma and having, well, superpowers. To me, I think that would emotionally and mentally cause some damage to somebody and create some sort of illness where they become imbalanced either through manic depression, sociopathy, schizophrenia. It's entirely possible. So it's exploration of elements of mental illness and not just trying to come at it as a negative trait, and exploration of elements of prejudice and basically the system putting its thumb on people of very unique talents and gifts.
So in your Mutants universe, are people going to be moving to gaining superpowers, or are they going to be just they're there from birth?
They develop over time. Some people develop usually a couple years to even a year before the onset of puberty. These powers start to appear.
All right. So a little bit later onset, the puberty gene. Timing to do both. Excellent.
I also have a D&D setting that I'm working on, just because it's D&D next. It's 40 years of D&D. I got started in role-playing games in D&D. I'm very nostalgic towards it. And I'm very of the mindset, I don't care what system it is. I can make it awesome. I can make it fun, and we can role-play in it.
Yeah. Well, that's how I got into world building, was playing D&D. And I, like Grey Hawk, I enjoyed a little bit. Their big worlds were that I thought it was a little weak. Like Forgotten Realms, I thought was weak. Dragonlance, where I love Dragonlance, the world was very weak in Dragonlance.
Well, there's a question regarding fantasy settings and what you like the most, and I'll get into all that later.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely get into more detail in our first non-Origins episode. So is this the first time that you've had an Origins episode?
This is my first Origins episode, yes.
Excellent. It's my third now, but it's not really about me, but it should be. Because
it's your third in one day.
Actually, I did the other two yesterday.
Okay, I thought you did this today.
And hopefully I can get Nate shortly, and then we can get rolling next month with some actual episodes and some depth here. But it was very good talking to you. If anyone has any comments, they have any questions, please share below, or comment below, share, like, whatever. You can actually mail letters to Dave's house, which we won't give the address to.
Well, I still have like one more project that I'm working on I'd like to talk about.
Shoot it out.
It's a game that I'm calling Descendant. That's a tentative title, and it's about lineage and destiny, where you actually get to redefine history and change the world. You create and play multiple characters, an entire cast that are all bonded through either blood or fealty, and play through generations as your lineage influences society and develops a culture through tools of influence and bold actions and dire choices.
Excellent. And will there be nice maps with it?
Well, it's all happens. There'll definitely be maps. It's actually going to have a system for characters to create maps and develop maps, because as the story happens over thousands of years and hundreds of thousands of years, going from dark ages to interstellar travel era, it's all about making the world yours. You create history. So part of the creation is you establish a premise where there's going to be mutual culture or cross-cultural or explorational culture. So.
But I think too, like pre-industrial times, I mean, that's kind of interesting, with the characters' map-making ability, because I think definitely like pre-industrial times, I mean, if you found the maps of, someone and sold them, that would get you killed. I mean, maps were very, very secret until, Google Maps came out pretty much. But, maybe a little before that you would get killed for it, but for a long time, that's a good way to get killed, mapping someone's land.
Yeah, it's a hefty project, because I was thinking I want to make this a rules-light game and keep it simple, and then I'm thinking of the sheer premise of itself of a generational dynastic gameplay. First you play the ancestor, you create the apical progenitor ancestor, and you play that character. Then you play the next generation. Then if you want, you can skip a few generations and play like the 5th generation, and then skip a few generations and play that descendant. Well, the setting changes with each generation.
But
And
no,
the
I
setting
think that would be
changes
fun
based
to
on
playtest.
ancestral choices, so it's going to be an intense system with probably. I don't want it to be too hefty of a rule set, but it's got to pretty much have elements for everything in there too. But I want it to make sense at the same time,
Yeah,
not be too overwhelming in the crunch.
I think we'll have fun playtesting that one if nothing else.
Yeah.
It definitely appeals to my sort of let's make politics and screw with people in the world. Whether as a game master or a player, I just have a tendency to like to screw with people. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
We're looking forward to the first actual episode coming out next month. And once again, please share, like, cut out pictures of our faces and use them on dartboards or whatever. And please continue to watch. Thank you very much, and have a good day, Internet.